Hey everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera Show. It is a great day. We are announcing the pre-sale of the third cookbook, Generations. This completes the trilogy of all three arms of our business, and this book is amazing. And today we're going to do 4 recipes from the book. We're going to start with the best pancakes ever, and you'll know why we call it that once you make them and serve them to your family. And then French toast sticks. We've got a French toast recipe in every book, but this one is geared towards children. You're gonna love it. Grape salad. How many of you remember that from family reunions back in the day? Well, the children in our camp program love it, so we're bringing that back. And then finally, cheese grits. These are amazing, and we're going to teach you how to keep them fresh on a buffet. We're going to go to a really cool mid-century kitchen, and Replacements Limited is making us look just right. So let's get started on the best pancakes ever. All right, so the best pancakes ever. And you know, our family, my 2 sons and their children, everybody loves to make pancakes. And this recipe is so light, so fluffy, and everything's already measured out. And that's one of the things that we really want to point out in this new book, is that get everything measured. Just about the time you think you're ready to go and you didn't look in the cabinet to see if you had vanilla, and now you have to stop what you're doing. So that's a great exercise for everybody to get used to doing. So I've got my flour in the bowl. I'm going to add sugar, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. And I just like to mix up with a fork, and we'll let that rest a minute. I've also got my pan on like a low heat right this minute, getting ready for this. All right, so I've got 1 egg in my Pyrex measuring cup. I'm just gonna whisk that about with a fork. Now I'm gonna add in buttermilk. And this is why soda is in this recipe, because it interacts with the buttermilk, making a really great combination. All right, stir that, and then I've got vegetable oil. All right, and I love to mix in a measuring cup like this when I'm pouring, because it just makes it so much easier to go in. So I'm gonna make a well in the flour, and this will be a little bit lumpy, so don't get concerned about that because it all works out. But I'm just gonna pour this mixture right into that well. And these are so many steps that anywhere from 5 years old and above can help with this. And would you believe that this is the wooden spoon that I painted when I was like in middle school? I can't believe it's not disintegrated at this point. But it just brings back a lot of memories of lots of generations when I pull out some of my old utensils. So this is going to make about 8 nice size pancakes. So if you've got more than that are going to be joining you for breakfast, you can certainly double this recipe. All right, so I'm going to turn this up to about a medium high at this point. And one of the secrets to trying to get them all universal in size is to use a measuring cup to dip with. So I like to use 1/4 of a cup as my go-to on sizing. Just let that go, and I can probably get 4 done at one time. So I've got the oil in the pan, and you can either use a paper towel or a pastry brush just to evenly distribute that. But one of the secrets to this is that instead of putting butter in the pan at this point, because the butter will have a tendency to get really brown. Your pancakes will get brown before they're actually done. So we love to get this part started. Start looking for the bubbles in the batter. Take a sneak peek with your spatula to see if it's turning brown. And then right before you flip it, you put a pat of really cold butter on top. So then this next step will get that nice golden brown, and that'll be the top of your pancake. So just look for the pops in the batter. You can see some of those right there. It's just kind of starting to bubble up. But it'll take about a minute or so before I can actually flip these. All right, so I think they're just about ready to flip any minute now. So here's where you take your cold butter. And just remember this step when you start adding a bunch of extra butter to these pancakes. They might not need quite as much. All right, so let's take a sneak peek here and see. Oh, I think we're there. Let's see. How does that look? All right. Ooh, beautiful. And this spatula is just the right size to get these flipped without being a nervous wreck. Okay, so this one, before I flip it, I'm going to actually add a little bit of chocolate chips to that. And then once this other side is done, I've got a plate ready and a tea towel that I'm going to cover them up so I can go on to the next step. All right, so when we come back from the break, we're going to get started on the French toast sticks, just another wonderful brunch recipe. So come back with us in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back everybody, and if you're just joining me, we are celebrating. I'm so excited. We have been working on this third cookbook now for 2.5 years. And so when you start flipping through the pages, I want you to think about how many times we tested a recipe, why that recipe is important to us, what generation is reflected in that recipe. It is just, I'm so excited. I can't wait for you to see it. And we're highlighting recipes today from the book. We've already done the best pancakes ever, and we're actually getting ready for a brunch in a mid-century kitchen. So now I'm on to the French toast sticks. And this is just another reflection of the fact that book 1, Recipes from My Table, has a baked French toast that if you're in a hurry, you can get that done and just bake it. Book 2, Occasions, has a stuffed French toast, which is also amazing and can be done in advance. But this is kind of an interactive recipe with the children. So let me get started on what is going on here. I've got my cast iron skillet. I have it on like a low heat right now. 2 eggs in a pie plate, because I love to use a shallow surface for this recipe. So we're going to just beat these eggs, and then we're going to add in whole milk. Whoop, whole milk, if I don't spill everything first. All right, then I've got vanilla, cinnamon, all the good things, and we're just going to mix that together. And then over here, I've got what we're dipping it in after they're done. So I've got granulated sugar and more cinnamon. And we'll just combine that. So this reminds me of cinnamon toast I must have made forever and ever when my children were little. All right, so I'm going to turn this up now to about a medium heat. And I'm going to add just a little, well, I'm going to get rid of that and add a little bit more oil to this pan. And this is something, the bread is something that you can have a teaching moment. So you take the Hawaiian bread, and we do recommend Hawaiian bread for this, and there's several different brands, but it just has a little bit of a sweetness to it, and it's kind of hearty, so that works well. I put 4 pieces, one on top of another. I used a serrated knife, and you actually saw. So depending on the age of your child, they can observe it and watch how it's done. The older child can learn that you've got to keep your hand on top of it and use that sawing motion. But we're going to do about 4 pieces at a time in here. So I'm going to do one at a time, and I like to use my tongs for this. I'm just going to swirl this around just a little bit and just flip it over. And if you overcrowd the pan, it makes it kind of difficult. So we'll add one at a time. Ooh, love that sizzle. And if you don't cover the bread, you get that staleness factor that also helps with this recipe. It's not like you're making a tea sandwich. And leave it in there just long enough to get both sides coated well. And these are just those little steps. One of the things that we've gone to a lot of trouble with this book is that I want a child to understand all the instructions very, very well. But there could be a young adult that's decided that they want to start cooking, and they might not know what fold means, or they might not understand a technique. And so we've given really great instruction on exactly what you're looking for in each recipe. The other thing is that it represents itself as part of our brand. When we work with the children in the summer, one of the things is that we teach them how to set a proper table. We teach them how to fold a napkin. We do place cards. We do menu cards. And so the brand has now introduced those techniques and attributes to hospitality to children at a young age. And I mean, we'll get comments from grandparents that say, when my grandchild comes over, they always want to set the table because grandmother has beautiful china and they can make it look great. So this is going to take just a minute to do. We're going to flip them over, and then we'll roll them into the granulated sugar, and that's ready to serve. And then in presentation today, we'll show you a little bit more about what you serve this with, and I think you're going to love it. So when we come back from the break, we're going to get started on grape salad, which really goes back in time for me. So I think you'll enjoy that recipe as well. All things grape for a brunch. Welcome back, everybody, and I have dreamed about this day when I was going to get to announce that our new cookbook, Generations, was in pre-sales, and I've been kind of teasing it along the way, but we are there, and I'm so excited. And honestly, my grandchildren should be in the kitchen with me right now because we've done the best pancakes ever. We've done French toast sticks. They would be so high on sugar right this minute. But now we're going to get a little bit healthy with a grape salad that I can literally see on the long table in Edenton, Georgia at the state park where we had our family reunion for years and years, and my Aunt Libba would bring grape salad and we all loved it. So our campers in the summertime love this recipe too. So it's very old-fashioned, lots of simple ingredients, very healthy. And I like to use both the red and the green grapes for this recipe. But I really love to use my veggie wash with these. And I've showed you all the different ways that you can utilize veggie wash depending on what the fruit or the vegetable is. But we sprayed these in a colander, and then I just kind of flipped them and tossed them in the colander. And then I sprayed them again, did that again, ran it under cold water, and literally when the colander went to the side, you could see the dirt in the bottom of the sink. So, you know, when I think about how we used to just eat stuff out of the bag and you never even dreamed of rinsing it off, it's just a great product. It leaves no aftertaste. I really love it. So those are ready to go. Once they were rinsed, I patted them dry really well. So I've got my sour cream in the bowl. I'm going to add, and it's at room temperature. This is all room temperature situation. Now I've got my cream cheese, and the cream cheese you can sit it out, of course, and let it come to room temperature that way. But depending on the time of year, if it's chilly outside, you know, you might want to, you know, give some thought to maybe putting the wrapped package in warm water just for a few minutes. You can also zap it just for a minute or two in the microwave. All right, so I'm going to blend that together and see how well it just stirs together. And I've got vanilla extract and granulated sugar. So part of what we're doing here is getting that granulated sugar kind of dissolved into the sour cream and cream cheese. And you're going to think, well, gosh, Vera, that looks like a lot of dressing for this salad. But when the whole point is that you get this made so you can refrigerate it and get it nice and chilled before you serve it because you want the fruit to be coated. And once it gets cold, that happens. So now I'm gonna just pour this over these grapes. And you know, I was looking at this earlier, and our culinary director, Donna Nell, when I said, gosh, these grapes are so big, can you cut the grapes? And she brought up the fact that if you do that, you've got too much liquid in the salad. So just remember, you can certainly use a fork with this. Once you've served it, you could cut them if you'd like at that point. So we're gonna just blend this together. And like I said, it looks like a lot right now, but once this cream cheese and sour cream has gotten cold again, it's just gonna stick to those grapes. And this is just delicious. And it's gonna end up being crunchy too, because in presentation, right before we serve it, we're gonna put brown sugar and pecan pieces on the top. Got my Tupperware ready for that to go in. And when we come back from the break, we're gonna be headed over to my friend Laura Duke and her husband Todd Schaefer's mid-century home that's right around the corner that they have renovated to the max. You're gonna love it. So see you back in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. And didn't I tell you we were going to come to a really cool spot for presentation today? I'm at the home of Laura Duke and her husband, Todd Schaefer. Laura is an artist. Her work is amazing. Todd is an owner chef of Abel Brown here in Augusta. You may remember him from a show that we did a couple of seasons ago that he just did an amazing job. And then Laura has provided us with part of her art by creating a napkin that would pair very well with what Replacements Limited provided for us today. This is the Starburst pattern that is certainly mid-century. And honestly, when I looked at it, I remember having a middle school friend whose mom had these dishes. So it really has brought me back in time. So let's walk back through what we did today. We've got a beautiful brunch buffet. We started with the best pancake ever. And honestly, my grandchildren would have already cleared that entire platter. But they just puff up really beautifully. It's great with bacon. Put a little maple syrup on there. You've got it. Then we moved into the French toast sticks. These just work really well by being able just to dip into the syrup. Then we did the grape salad. I am truly at a family reunion right now because my Aunt Libba always made this and we all loved it. And our campers love it too. So the last thing you want to do is garnish it with a little bit of brown sugar and Pearson Farm pecans, because that gives you that crunch and a tad more sweetness that really makes this dish delicious. All right, we have a bonus recipe today. We did cheese grits. So I'm gonna walk you through each of those steps. In a large saucepan, bring chicken broth to a full rolling boil. Then whisk in the grits and beat vigorously for 30 seconds. Reduce the heat to medium-low and then stir constantly for about 2 minutes. Then reduce the heat to low and cook for an additional 20 minutes, stirring from time to time to prevent it from sticking. At that point, you're going to stir in your cheeses and butter and then serve it immediately. Or the tip that I would like to give you is that if you need to refresh the grits, if they've sat for a few minutes, you're ready to put the buffet together, add a little bit of warm chicken stock, a little bit of warm evaporated milk. But the best way to do it is to put those, once they're done, in a crock pot and they can sit for 3 to 4 hours. All right, so this is the launch of the cookbook. I'm so excited. You know, we have been working on this for 2.5 years. So it's certainly a labor of love for all of the VeryVera team. I'm so grateful for Peter Frank Edwards, who photographed this book along with the other two. We've just really come to know each other so well, and he understands everything that we're trying to portray in this book. So It's for sale on pre-sale on our website at VeryVera.com. The book will actually come the end of April for the first part of May, so be looking for it then, but we certainly hope that you will pre-order so you can get yours as soon as it launches. And one of the other things that I want to point out, and Replacements Limited has certainly helped me do this today, is just to remember the generational aspect of cooking. When I think about some of my favorite recipes, I'm in the kitchen with my grandmother, or I'm in the kitchen with my great aunt or my mother. And these are where the learning steps come from. So as we wrote the book, we wrote it so that a child can understand it. What does fold mean? We describe that. But it might be somebody in their 30s that just got married and really doesn't know how to cook. So they'll love that information as well to be able to be successful in the kitchen. So it's a book that's going to reflect all generations. There'll be recipes that you'll want to share with your family, and certainly for me, like having one of my grandchildren over, that's going to be a really great aspect as well. And so, as I always say on the Very Vera Show, no matter what you do, do it in good taste. See you next week.